right, I'm going to try to make this a quick video, okay? This is my end of summer edit, and it is my favorite loose mineral powders that give really amazing sun protection, and I mean amazing, okay? Keep in mind, none of these are marketed as SPF, okay? Because these are small brands, and they do not have the SPF label. But if you look at the ingredients, they are the main ingredients. Okay, so the sunscreen ingredients are the main ingredients, and I've used these for years. They are tried and true. Okay, they work better than anything that I have. These are my holy grails. Okay, I have one more that I'm going to share with you too, but these are the ones I'm going to stick with for now. All right, these are all reasonably priced. They're all under $25 or at $25. Okay, but they're all reasonably priced, contain a large amount of sunscreen ingredients, and they all make my skin look flawless, and they stay on my skin, and I love them all. Okay, so let's start off with the Mad Minerals. You guys know I love this formula. I love Mad Minerals. Stuff is great. I'm not in the medium golden right now. I would be in the medium tan, but this is just the one that I grabbed. Absolutely love it. This definitely has a little bit of a glow. It's really, really beautiful and tried and true. I've tested this under extreme circumstances, and it's never let me down. Love it. And this is the Mineral Silk. And again, this is a beautiful, beautiful product. Absolutely love it. This has a good shade selection, and this has a pretty good shade selection as well. So these are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And this is the Mineral Hygienics. And I have to say, when I first was on their website reading all their reviews, I was like, yeah, these are all encouraged reviews. Like, it was obvious. And I'm very skeptical when I see stuff like that. But I ended up trying their sample pack where you get two this size, and this is like a really good size. Okay, this is, I mean, it's not as, well, yeah, no, it's not as big as this one, but it's still a really good size. And I was buy two of these for a really reasonable price. It was like super, super cheap. And I just was like, just try it, because I'm always checking out new mineral powders. Always. Like, if I find something that's really reasonable and just intrigues me for one reason or another, I'm going to try it. So I ended up trying it, and I was pretty blown away by it. And again, am I saying it's the best I've ever tried? No. But is it right up there? Yeah. Like, it's really beautiful, and it makes my skin look incredible. And what I can say is the sun protection is bang on. Like, honestly, this stuff is so, so good. It reminds me of my Heresy Cosmetics that I got on Etsy, and unfortunately her shop's been closed for a year, so I do not know what's going on. So I'm not going to recommend that product because you can't get it. So the Mineral Hygienics is a very similar formula, okay? And it doesn't have what I would call any kind of shine or sheen or anything like that. It's just like this very skin-like natural finish. I have it on right now. This is the one I have on today. And I don't need this one today. I could have worn something that doesn't have as much of the sunscreen ingredients today, but I wanted to put one of these on today because I'm doing the video, and I figured I would just do the Mineral Hygienics. Again, this is not a review. It's just my sharing, okay? And this is it. And honestly, it's beautiful. And I'm going to be 57 in a month, if you can believe it. 57. And I don't do anything modern to my skin. Nothing. No retinols, no peels. Don't go to an esthetician or dermatologist ever. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't do anything harsh or aggressive to my skin. I do use a washcloth every day, very gently, which really is that's my beauty tool. Like, I am a hardcore washcloth girl, and I do very, very gentle things. I never use cleanser on my skin, and I use my balms that I make. They're homemade, so they're animal fats and oils and, you know, butters and things like that. And I do love a zinc balm, but I take really good care of my skin, and I do face massage, and I do some cupping, and I'll do some gua sha from time to time, you know, whatever. But I'm more of a facial massage person. That's what I do. And that's what I teach people, because that's my thing. That is my thing. That is what I love. And it's free because our hands are free, and we have them everywhere we go. So yeah, but that's all I do. And honestly, all of these work really great on my skin. And again, there's always going to be people that say they don't like the way mineral powders sit on their skin, but that's totally fixable. Okay, I've never found anybody that I cannot get these to work for. Never. You just might have to tweak some things. Okay, you might have to prime your brush with a little oil. You might have to lubricate your skin better. You might have to get off a little bit of the loose flaky stuff on your skin. And I'm talking about the loose stuff, not the stuff that's adhered. Okay, because that happens to a lot of people. They end up with like this buildup of like this loose stuff that can interfere with how well this is going to lay on your skin. And you may need to spritz your brush with a little bit of rose water or something, or you can apply it and then go in with a damp beauty blender or a little bit of oil on it or something and tap it down. There's a lot of ways to get around it, okay? Again, tons of different ways, all right? This is my most expensive one, and the reason I'm sharing this is because it is a beautiful product, okay? It's very bougie, very expensive. I suggest you get it on sale, okay? They do have 40% off sales from time to time. This is the La Belladonna. La Belladonna. And amazing product. It does contain a large amount of bismuth oxychloride though, so for some people this may be a deal breaker, all right? Bismuth oxychloride does not bother my skin, and my skin does fine with this product. And this is a micronized formula, which means the particles are ground very small, even though they're not nano, but they're very, very small. And this is a very smooth formula. And honestly, it literally goes on like a cream. It's really, really beautiful. Well, it goes on like a cream on my skin. I can't speak about anybody else, but I love this. And the shade selection is not great. So you may have to use a couple different shades. You may have to mix. They do have like a more neutral and then warmer shades, but they don't really have many other selections. So you may have to mix shades, but I do really love the formula, okay? And I've been using this for a couple years now. This was a real splurge for me because I've had my eye on it for a while, but I just never got it. And then they ended up having a sale, so I ended up trying it, and I absolutely love it. Actually, no, that's not what happened. I found one on eBay. I found one on eBay for like 30 bucks. I was like, I'm just going to try it. It was my shade, and it worked out great. I loved it. And then they ended up having a sale on the main website, and I was able to grab a few more. So I do really love the product. So these are just my favorites. And I always, I always come back to these. And again, the reason is that out of all of my formulas, they have the highest amount of the sunscreen ingredients, and they really work great. This is marketed as an SPF, okay? So it's marketed as a 50. Whether or not you're truly getting a 50 depends how much you use, I guess, but I've used this and it works really, really well. When I know I need maximum protection, I am going with these, okay? This one is, I believe, 24% zinc and I think 19% titanium dioxide, which is, that's great, right? That's really high. It's a really good amount. And I believe all of these are close to 50%. So it's not really all that much more than this, okay? But these definitely have a lot. And because these are more reasonably priced, I tend to wear these more than this, obviously. I kind of save this for like when I'm going out or special occasions or, whatever, just because it is so expensive. And I'm not going to be using this as a daily SPF in the summer. Not happening. It's just too expensive. Again, you got to do you, right? If you like bougie stuff and don't mind spending your money, have at it. But I'm going with these. Okay, now if you can get these at half price, so they did have 50% off on Black Friday last year. I don't know if they're going to do it this year, but 30 bucks isn't terrible because it's 10 grams of product. That's a lot. All right. And these vary in how much they are, right? Yeah, they just tell you the size of the container. And I don't know if this one tells you how much is in the product. But anyway, it's a good amount. Like, you're getting a good amount. And let me tell you, it's a lot cheaper than a lot of the ones that are out there. Now, I have found some cheaper powdered ones in containers, those little, containers there, the little brush containers that are cheaper, but they're not clean. They're not clean for me, and they're not what I want. Okay, they have added ingredients that I don't want to be putting on my skin. So these are super clean, super simple ingredients, and I absolutely love them. Now, they are not micronized, all right? This one is micronized, but it does contain bismuth oxychloride, all right? These are not micronized, but they don't irritate my skin at all. Again, I have sensitive skin, but I don't have the most sensitive skin. I used to, but I don't anymore. So my skin has come a long way because I've suffered a lot of damage to my skin over the years. And since I've been implementing a lot more frequently, the things that I know, the things that I've known forever, because sometimes we get a little lazy, and I really thought that just time, I just thought time will heal it, but then you start going on a period of years and you're like, wait a minute, this really isn't getting better as much as I would like. So then I started implementing more, and it was really when I went carnivore 8 years ago that just radically changed everything, changed my health, changed my skin. My skin was no longer as sensitive as it used to be, in addition to doing more facial massage and things like that too. But it's always hard to say when you're doing multiple things, right? But anyway, my skin is not nearly as sensitive as it used to be. And I am so, so grateful for that, because there was a period in my life where it was really bad. But it's not anymore, so that's a good thing. So our skin can change for sure, okay? So these I love. Again, Mad Minerals, Mineral Silk, Mineral Hygienics. Expensive and bougie one is La Belladonna. And just so you know, in the shade medium tan for the Mineral Hygienics, that is what I have on right now. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that. I know it's end of summer for me. I don't know about you where you're listening, but for me it's the end of the summer, so I won't be needing the high ones anymore. I can get away with my formulas that just don't have as much protection because the UV is going to be getting lower. But these were my just summer favorites, and I think they always will be. I honestly can't imagine this changing. I may find more that I add to it, but these will always be some of my favorites. I absolutely love them, and I encourage you to try them. Now, the wonderful thing is that Mad Minerals has samples. You can get samples through the Mineral Hygienics website as well, and Mineral Silk has a sample pack as well. La Belladonna, do they have samples? Yes, I think they have samples. Again, very expensive. The sample is like ridiculously expensive, but at least you can try a sample before you bite the bullet and get a full size. So again, it's one of those things. It's just what you like. This is definitely a bougier product for sure, but honestly, I'm happy with these. And truthfully, I mean, this is what it looks like on my skin. And mind you, I'm going to be 57 next month. And this is how good it looks on my skin. But again, you're always going to get those people that say they don't like it. Always, okay? But you can learn to work with it. There's definitely tricks and tips that you can do to get it to work for you. You can literally change it. You can transform it into a cream. You can transform it into a liquid. You can get it to blend into your skin, okay? It's just, if you're going to use a dry brush and it doesn't work well on your skin, then that might not be the best form for you until you get your skin in better condition, and you might need to do some other things to tweak it to get it to work, but you definitely can. And what I love so much is that these don't contain any added shit that I don't want on my skin, and it works so, so well for sun protection for me. Again, I can only speak about myself, okay? But I recommend these to people too, and they work. Okay, so I'll be signing out.